everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Michelle and I am also known as the Stamp Booker. I am here today for a hop on YouTube and I believe also Instagram for Paw Your Way into Our Hearts. And so I wanted to use this brand new collection from Keep It Simple. It's called Summer Penguins. And I thought it was perfect to document my dog Finley. So let me just show you all of the embellishments I had to go through. There were over 200 pieces in this embellishment pack. So I have clouds and sun. I have all kinds of wordy bits. I have penguins. I have palm trees. Here I have waves. I have all kinds of, and there's also, well, I interrupted myself. There's all kinds of wordy bits. Some are for birthday cards. Some are more for pool. So this isn't just the beach, and that's nice. And here are more of the penguins. And then I also have some little bitty bits, plus these 1.5 inch circles and the 1 inch circles, and they match perfectly with these epoxy circles I have to make my own flare. Here's some little bitty bits. Some more little bitty bits that are kind of food theme, like popsicles, watermelon, ice cream, and so just bits and bobs, but lots and lots to choose from, right? So I wanted you to share that. I like to kind of separate them all out before I get started so that I can find what I'm looking for, right? Okay, so I have done a little bit of prep work. Let me show you what I've done. Let me move this out of the way. So let's start here. I wanted it to be sand and water, beach and ocean, right? So I was just gonna do a half and half, and then I remembered that I have this cool die that gives me wavy borders. So I just took it, and it's not 12 inches, so I did some, and then I did more, and then I decided it needed a second layer. Okay, and then it doesn't matter that it doesn't match up in the middle because it's going to be covered up, right? Okay, so I used that. I will link everything I'm using down below. Okay, so that is a fun border. Now I have the stamp set and the die, but I don't think I'm going to use it on this layout. I will have to wait and use it on another layout. Okay, so then I cut this at 6 inches, and I'm just going to slide it underneath here. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm documenting the very first, and actually the only time we have taken our rescue dachshund to the beach. Our son was going to school in Houston, and we were there for an extended period, like for a week one time. And it was because his car had broken down, and so we didn't know how long it would take to fix it. If you're part of my family, you don't take it and get it fixed. You fix it yourself. So we weren't really quite sure what we were up against. Sorry, I didn't have that quite straight. So I'm just using a piece of white cardstock as my base. So this all has a landing spot, right? As you can see, it is over the edge, and I'll trim that off later. Okay, so then I have this, and I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue here along the bottom. And I'll just slip that in. I'm lining everything up on the left-hand edge so that it'll be where I just trim over here in the end. Okay, let me put that pin back in my glue. And then let me show you how I got this cool piece of paper. So we have these brand new, Keep It Simple has these brand new scallop frames, and I took this one off of here. It's the largest one off of this rectangles, but we also have squares, circles, and you guessed it, ovals. So I can't wait to play more with this. Now you do have to have a die cutting machine that can handle something this wide. I have the Impress. It's an electronic die cutting machine, and I got one of those because I got tendonitis in both my elbows from cranking so much, cranking the die cutting machine. Okay, now here I took 4 photos from the beach. I printed them as 2 3x4s on a 6x4 or a 4x6. I don't get into is it 6x4 or 4x6. But it was with my Epson PictureMate 400, and I printed them through the Creative Prints app that Epson has, and I printed them with borders. So that made them a little bit smaller than 3x4. And my original thought process was that I could just lay them down as 3x4s, but they don't quite fit in this frame, and so I ended up cutting them a little bit more. So in case you're curious, each photo is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. So see, there were 4. So all I did was just cut off some of the water or the beach. And then that's going to fit on this frame really well. And then I just laid them down on a piece of white cardstock and just kind of eyeballed the mat. I'm just going to put that down. Okay. Isn't this a cute pattern on the back side? I think it's upside down right now, but isn't it cute? I can't wait to play with this collection again, and I might go back to some photos when we went to the beach years ago when my kids were younger. So I'm just gonna, let's see, make sure my layout is straight. And y'all, have a new glass board, and I'm still using my Close to My Heart Versamat. It's a hard habit to break. Hard habit. Okay, I think we will, sorry for my head down there. Okay, let's see. So, I have a plan. I have used my tags die set from Keep It Simple, and I've cut out this tag. And then I really love this gift card pocket, and I'm going to slide the tag down into it. So that's where I would put my journaling. That's where I will put my journaling. This layout actually will be on display at the Keep It Simple booth at all the stamp and scrapbook expos this year. So if you want to see it in person, if you're going to an expo this year, let me know down in the comments. That'll be fun to know if you're going. So here is what the gift card pocket looks like. It has the flaps that scored. I did cut it one more time with some white cardstock just so that it makes a pocket here. And then I cut the tag out, and I plan on slipping it in here, somewhere about in here. I don't want to cover up my cute little wavy lines. Here, let me go ahead and cut this off. I'm going to use my big trimmer here. Let's see. Let's get the blue. All right. There we go. That looks better. Okay. So that'll go somewhere up here. And then this is one of the die cuts in the die cut pack, and I've just put it up on some foam, and I plan on putting that there. So let me go ahead and do that. All right. And let's see. Here in this corner, I thought it would be cute to, this is something else that came in the die cut pack, and I thought it would be cute to make a shaker. A little bit of it needs trim, so I'll have to do that off camera, but and then I just took some of our craft cardstock, and that'll make the backing of it. I wanted to have kind of the sand color. And then over here, I thought I would make a scene. So let me show you what I have. I cut out, this is going to be like a little beach towel. I just cut it with our rectangular nested dies, and I can link that down below too. I thought I'd take a palm tree, about like that, an umbrella, and a little penguin. I put Just Beachy up on some foam. He's got to have a little chair. He's got a beach ball. And then I have a crab. And I made my own epoxy circle, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, I also considered Too Cute down here. That would work also. Swimsuits optional, flippers mandatory. That's cute. Penguin Party, and here's also a surfboard that I thought would be cute. I'm not sure, but I think I'm gonna go with Just Beachy. Let's see. Okay, let me show you. I also made another epoxy here, and let me show you how it's done. So so we have these epoxy circles, 1 inch and 1.5 inch, and so here is a sheet of them. So I'm going to put this on here, and I just kind of line it up here, not on my desk. Didn't get that quite on there, right? Okay. And then I take a brayer and that just gets it like really sealed really well. And then I plan on having that here. So, and then I'm going to put some twine jute twine in this tag hole, and I think I'm going to call that good. Let me show you my options for the shaker. So this is like this glass looking, it's so pretty. I think about using that, I'm thinking, because it looks like something you'd find on a beach, right? The glass on a beach. I also picked out some glittery yellow, glittery orange, this kind of a glittery fluorescent green, and then here's a blue. Now I don't have, this is a pretty small shaker, so I'm not sure if I really have room for all 4 colors, or maybe 3 colors. I think the yellow and the green are pretty similar, so I might go with these 3, especially if I have the green here, then I already have green represented. But then there's also this, which is so beautiful. I don't know if you can see. I'll see if I can zoom in on this when I edit my video. Let me take the lid off again. So pretty. There's a couple of different color combinations with this particular kind. I'll try to link these down below too. I'll try to remember. Okay, so let me get my shaker kind of trimmed up a little bit. What I did is I took foam squares and I couldn't bend the foam, so I did little bitty bits that were that was cut straight. And we do have Shaker Basics foam and acetate, and I just cut the acetate out of a circle die. Okay, I thought I'd show you how I'm going to make the shaker. So you put the acetate next to this paper, and then you put the foam on top of the acetate. Okay, helps to get the adhesive off the inside of the foam, but I cannot locate mine, and it's okay if you don't do it. So I think I'm going to go with these 3, and I have a little, here it is, I have a little scoop that Keep It Simple sells. So I'm just going to scoop a little bit of each one in here. And I put a couple of foam pieces here in the center just to support it a little bit, but I didn't want to trap any of this on either side. So here goes a little bit of blue. And then a little bit of orange. And a little bit of yellow. These are very glittery, and then I'm gonna, perhaps it needs a little bit more. Did I use this side? Okay, a little bit more blue. A little bit more orange. A little bit more yellow. All right. Then I'm going to put a little bit of wet adhesive around here. And that's to reinforce the foam squares. Also, perhaps it'll help it wiggle just a little bit. All right. Okay, they're all off. So now I'm going to put this on like this. I'm going to turn it over. Ooh, that's so pretty. And then I'm going to put some pressure on it with something a little heavy. All right, I think that has dried. I'm going to put it about right there. Turned out so pretty. These are beautiful. Okay, the only thing I need to do is put this on and some enamel dots. I've pulled ruby, lime, and lemon. I feel like this ruby is kind of a corally red. I think it'll match really well with this scallop frame. And then the lime. And then the lemon. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to put this. All right, so I've formed a visual triangle. I have 3 epoxy flares. I don't have to, but I like to have that. I think I'll go with a big yellow one over here because there's no yellow here. I'm not sure where I want it. And that has a lot of yellow, so I'm going to go with the little yellow one up here. And let's see, this has a big green one, so I'm going to go a little green one. And maybe a big green one over here. And let's see, let's do a big red one over here. And a medium green one. Oops. Out there. All right. So here we're missing the ruby, medium one. And then here we're missing a little ruby. And then a yellow, a big, little, so I'll do medium. Yes. Put that there. And I'm going to call that finished. What do you think? Let me know if you plan on going to the Scrapbook Expo this spring or summer. I'm hoping to go to one in early March, so I would like to see you if you're going to. Alright, don't forget to check out everybody else's link down below, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you